Are all of these faces, Esh, every single one of these faces, are they all romanceable? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does that mean that there's 9 love interests in this game? That's a lot. That's a lot, Esh. 9. Wow. I'm impressed. Yes? You wouldn't put some non-romanceable scrub on the title screen. Ash said, I don't want no scrub. Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Sitting on the passenger side of his best friend ride, trying to holler at me. You're struggling with 5. I know, 9 is just, it's impressive. It's impressive. Let's pick up where we left off. I paused just outside the door to my building and took a long, slow breath to clear my head. I would have had to hide it, as I always had. Besides, I had never tested positive again after that one time. What does that mean, tested positive for being an Esper, right? I appreciate it. I need the help. Someone told me my games are long only because I use the word flop a lot. You don't use it that much. Stop. The first time it appears in Thornwood, I'm gonna make it an achievement. Okay, that's good. That's good. That is epic. That's classic. I love that. You should, yes, do that. I am nothing if not petty. This is why we love you, Ash. Real. I would just have to hide it, as I always had. Besides, I had never tested positive again after that one time. With the situation at hand, they had no reason to jump to any specific conclusions about me. It would be fine. I would be fine. Telling myself that, I decided to get on with my day and not dwell on it. There was a man talking or arguing with the building security when I stepped outside. I might have completely ignored them as I stepped around them. But there was a second man nearby, his hair fading from silver at the roots to pink at the ends. I nodded politely as I passed, my thoughts turning toward shopping and the things I was going to purchase, but I didn't get very much further down the footpath. Unknown man. Hold on. Wait, miss, wait. I can't give them a voice until I see him. My heart started thumping against my ribs at the sound of an unfamiliar man just behind me, even though he wasn't strange or bedraggled, and he wasn't threatening me. Girl, I get that. I feel the same way when a strange man comes running at me going, hey, miss, and that's happened before. There's been many a times where I was traveling and I was by myself and I was like in a downtown area or something, and some dude started hollering at me, and you know, I never know who's gonna like try to attack or something, you know. One time I had somebody like did try to attack me. I turned back hesitantly. Yes? Hello, hi, look at this person. Winter, you're scaring her. Hey! Is Winter a side character? Because I don't recall seeing them before. Is this one a love interest? Unknown man number 2? Is he one of the 9? Wait, what? Wait, Eiffel Tower, is that where it happened? Winter's a side character. He was made by a Kickstarter. Oh! And Ruben is an LI. So the Kickstarter backer chose what they looked like their hair color and stuff. And then Ruben, he's the love interest. Oh, hi, gentlemen. Oh, him and his backstory. That's such a cool way to involve your players. I love that the Kickstarter I can't wait to find out more about him and see what they created. That's really cool. Also, did you notice I lit my tree this time? Do you like that? Is that cool or what? I finally lit my tree. Wait, what? The pink-haired man looked startled at the very thought that maybe it wasn't a great idea to run after a woman while shouting at her. He didn't have the situational awareness. The dark-haired man quickly joined him, flicking his worried gaze back to me. He shoved his hands in his pockets and offered an uncertain smile. I apologize if my partner startled you, but you're Rue Jitterrue, correct? I'm Rue Jitterrue. It wasn't a question. I narrowed my eyes as I returned his frank gaze. He was fairly well dressed and tidy. They do look well dressed and tidy, both of them. Especially Ruben. This one, he's got a little wrinkle going on, but he's still very well dressed. He's got a lot of jewelry on. Wow. This guy, he's like no wrinkles, none whatsoever. He's like polished, okay? I bet this is Ruben. I bet you anything he's the type of guy. He will dress to the nines just to go to the grocery store, okay? He's gonna pomade that hair just to go to the grocery store. No sweats for this man. He doesn't wear sweats, okay? All right, big baggy sweats, that's not him. Nope, This man, he is a fashionista. Am I right or am I right? The pink-haired man beside him was dressed more casually, making the two of them an unusual pair. But nothing about their attire gave any clues as to who they might be. Your partner? I'm Ruben Kellner, a special investigator with UTPOL. This is my partner, Winter Ashton. You can check your interface to verify our identities. I bit my lip and did just that, and sure enough, like all public employees, their identification was openly available. That would also explain how they knew who I was. Yes, we do like older men. Their positions would have allowed them to access my full information as well. Special investigators, huh? I didn't mean to run after you like that. But your doorman wouldn't let us in. Ruben here had been arguing with him for 10 minutes already. When I saw you come out, I just followed without thinking. Building security is fairly tight, so... You're a student living alone as well. I'm sure they're extra cautious when people come looking for you. I don't know about that. There's just a process visitors have to go through, that's all. This unexpected meeting had me on edge again. Ruben has a shirtless CG that people like too. Ooh! Does Magnus have a shirtless CG? I hope they all do. I want every single one of them to be shirtless. Discord wouldn't let you show a preview. It's too powerful. No! No! He's shirtless in this spicy one. Yes! Yes! So Raiden sent you a CG to convince you to play Gilded Shadows. That's very convincing. This unexpected meeting had me on edge again. Why would they come looking for me if I was supposed to go in for an interview anyway? I must have looked as nervous as I felt because Winter gave me a sheepish grin as he took a step away, tipping his head in the direction the fountain incident had been taking place. Ruben, I think I'll head down to the crime scene and have a look around. If you don't mind, it's not that far from here. You can handle this on your own, right? I'll be fine. We'll catch up later. See you. It was nice to meet you, Miss Jitterrue. He started away from us with a slow jog. Ruben watched him until he was gone before he turned back to me. Sorry about that, Miss Jitterrue. We have a lot of ground to cover today. Though the abruptness with which Winter left made it fairly apparent it was more for my benefit than anything, It's all right. But I hope you realize I already received a request to give a statement about the incident last night. I didn't realize someone would be stopping by. This morning, they turned the incident over to our department, and I'm not sure they have informed you before your scheduled interview. I wanted to talk to you personally, so we decided to stop by while we were in the area, unless you're too busy at the moment. Say yes, I'm busy. I have Guide Esh. Okay, I'm really sorry, but I'm actually busy right now. You have a date with a tangerine monster. Yes, tangerine. I have a date with this man right below me, today's boyfriend. Actually, I did have some important errands that I need to get out of the way right now. I was planning to come in for a statement later this afternoon already. If the case has been handed over to your department, I can come give a statement at whatever location you prefer, but right now is a bit... Of course, Rue and Ruben. Rue and Ruben. Of course, I understand. I'll send you the details right now. I'm sorry to bother you. We have a temporary space we're using while we're in town, so I'd prefer to have you stop by there. I know the incident yesterday must have been harrowing. We'd like to catch the culprit as quickly as possible. I understand. I don't wish to hold up your investigation. I'm not sure my statement is going to add much more to what you've already seen on the recordings, but as soon as I'm finished with my morning errands, I'll come by. All right. Thank you, Miss Jitterrue. He held out a hand, and I hesitated for only a brief moment before I shook it. He smiled pleasantly before he waved and headed off. I received the address for his office through the net a few seconds later, and with great reluctance, scheduled myself in for a few hours from now. I wasn't terribly thrilled with having been confronted with that as soon as I left the building, but at least he hadn't been pushy. Accepting an afternoon appointment was probably more than I would have gotten from others. Still, it would have been nice if I'd been allowed to get my mind off things for just a little while, but I guess I should make the most of the few hours I had before my appointment. And I didn't read my little intro today, okay? That explains what today's mission is. I always read my little intro. I'm gonna read it now. We are playing Gilded Shadows. Tonight we are returning to a stunning world where magic and advanced technology exist side by side. Last time we met a magical bum and crossed paths with the resident flirt. Yes, we did, the blue-haired hottie that's usually shirtless. Also, we were trying to find Magnus because I asked, hey everybody who has played Gilded Shadows before, who's the trashiest trashbando in the whole game? Who is the most walking red flag? And I got an overwhelming response. It's like everyone said it was Magnus. And I was like, okay, perfect. That's the one I want. Give me the red flag trashbando. That's my man. We were looking for him, but we still haven't seen him yet. I heard that he is a premium grade toxic trashbando, so obviously that's the one that I want. And today's mission is simple. Find Magnus. Okay. So we're going to continue the common route. That's what we're on right now. And we're going to uncover as many secrets as we can. This is an indie otome visual novel, and it is created by Steamberry Studio. And you can find it on Steam. It's on Steam. That's where I got it. It's on Steam. He's not toxic, which means he is toxic. Ash is like, wait a second, is he toxic? He's not toxic. I hope we're about to meet him. After that, I'd gone to the grocer to get enough food to last a few days so I wouldn't have to leave my flat again for a while. Most of that was set to be delivered later in the day. I love doing that, girl. Like, you load up on stuff and then you can just, then you don't have to do anything. You can just relax. You can chill. I had only one little bag with me when I left. Since my afternoon was booked and I didn't actually know how long the whole statement ordeal was going to take, I decided to stop by for lunch at a nearby cafe that was fairly close to home. They also had a lovely open-air seating area. I'd spent far too many afternoons there studying, so I knew the menu by heart. Wow, girl! I soon found myself seated with a cup of coffee as I waited for a lunch to be delivered. A light lunch. Just a little something to go with my coffee. It was a beautiful day, and I was regretting that I hadn't brought a book with me. Of course, I could always hunt one down on the net and read in my head, but I hated that blank, drooly look people got on their faces when they read that way. Is that what we look like when we're looking at our phones all day? Do we look blank and drooly? Instead, I just leaned back in my seat and watched the traffic passing by. Hopefully, after giving a statement, I could put this entire thing behind me and just never think about it again. I didn't even notice the man approaching my table until he slammed into it, toppling the bag of fruits from the grocer. The jolt sent several tangerines rolling across the table towards the edge. Grab your things before they fall on the ground, or ask the man if he's okay. I should ask him if he's okay, right? Are you okay? I jumped up as the man crouched in front of me. For a moment, I thought he'd really hurt himself. It's our man! We found him! Yay! It's Magnus! Hi, Magnus. I didn't realize I was so close to actually meeting him. But no. He raised his head, smiling at me as he held up one of the fallen tangerines. I started to take it from him, pausing slightly as I stared down into his blue eyes. I feel like MC is like looking him up and down already, you know? Already! Honestly, he's adorable. I really like his look. He's so cute. Why does he look familiar? How strange. I knew we'd never met before. I definitely would have remembered him. And yet, I also couldn't shake the feeling that I'd seen him somewhere before. I don't mind being stared at by such a lovely lady, but it's a little embarrassing when I'm down on one knee like this. Oh, I have one knee. Ash, I really like him. It almost feels like I'm proposing. Yes. Heat flooded my face at the realization of just how long I'd been staring. I snatched the tangerine from him and turned away. Sorry, I'm sorry. I fumbled all the spilled fruits back into the bag. The man let out an amused laugh and stood up. Dusting himself off, I gave him an embarrassed smile. It's just that you reminded me a little of someone else. I was trying to... He leaned close suddenly, placing one of his fingers firmly to my lips. Oh, sir! He's like, Hearing you say, I remind you of another man, isn't going to make me happy, I'm afraid. Stop, Magnus. He's kind of hitting on me, isn't he? My face instantly heated up again, and I jerked away from him, swatting his hand away, and he just chuckled again. I'm glad he finds me amusing. Did I make you angry? What a cute way of blushing you have. I sputtered indignantly. Not even sure how to respond to that. I wasn't blushing. Yeah, girl, I can see it. You're blushing, honey. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're blushing. What was with this guy? Oh dear. I haven't even introduced myself, have I? How silly of me to forget. I'm Emir Fitzroy, and I am terribly sorry for my clumsiness. Are you really? Is that really your name? I thought your name was Magnus. Nice to meet you, I think. Also, that name sounded fake. I wasn't sure why the thought came to me, but it just didn't seem to fit him. Yeah, because it ain't his name. He's lying. It is a fake name. How dare you? Ha 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 ha. You don't sound sure about that. I'm not. How cruel. Perhaps I should give another apology. I truly am sorry for inconveniencing you. Shall I get down on one knee again? Perhaps you prefer me groveling at your feet. Yes, and you can call me your majesty while you're at it. Get down on your knees right now, lover boy. He started to lower himself again, drawing the looks of several nearby people. He's a troll. Y'all, he's trolling. I grabbed his arm, tugging him back up. I'm not annoyed about that. It's not that big a deal to knock one tangerine on the ground. Please, just stop. No one is asking you to grovel. He laughed again, clearly amused by my distress. My God, what is wrong with this man? I'm so glad I came today. I didn't expect to meet such an amusing person. Though, you also haven't told me your name. What if we see him again? You know, we run into him and we're like, oh, hi, Amir. And then he's like, who? Because he lied. You haven't given me the chance. And I'm not here for your amusement. It's Rue, all right? Happy? Very. Rue is such a beautiful name. Very suited to such a beautiful lady. He's a complete troll. I love him. Ash, I love him. I love him. He's making a good first impression on me by trolling me. Thank you. He unexpectedly took my hand and brought my fingertips to his lips, which were turned up on one side, a smirking grin that made me feel like he was definitely teasing me. And he's flirty. Stop. I jerked my hand away, intending to, I don't know, tell him off or something. But his eyes went far away before I could speak. It was clear he was getting a message or something. Oh, what a shame. His gaze flicked back to my face and he smiled again. As much as I would love to stay and chat with you a little longer, I'm afraid it's already time for me to go. It seems I've been discovered. Hi, Milky. Welcome back, Stunner. We finally met today's boyfriend. Look at him, and he's a troll. Milky, he's just like Shiraishi. He has got long hair, long blonde hair, glasses, and he's shady. And he took his finger and he pressed it to our lips as he was teasing us. Discovered? What is that? He placed a finger to his own lips this time and winked at me, the smile still pasted on his face, though it felt like the mirth in it had evaporated. Milky said I'm getting Esh vibes. Yep. Look at him, Milky, he's winking at me. Esh vibes. TM. I sneaked out of work to meet someone today, and it looks like my colleagues figured out where I am. I like that he's winking at us, y'all. He's winking. If I don't hurry back soon, I'm afraid they'll cause quite the fuss about the whole thing. I feel like a bit like a princess in a tower with the way they try to keep me all locked up there working. I couldn't help but wonder just who he was. The way he said that made it seem like he was someone important. but it was hard to imagine him in any sort of important job. Why, girl? That's so judgy. Look at her face. She's like, really? Seriously? I hope before you go back, you get to meet up with whoever you wanted to meet. I already met her. What? Was it me? He started away from the table quickly, glancing back just once. I'll see you later, Rue. I have a feeling we'll see each other again. Oh, bye. I didn't even get a chance to respond to him. He walked away so quickly. Within seconds, I lost sight of him in the crowd. I just stood there staring after him in confusion. What the heck was that about? I flopped back in my seat again, completely baffled by that entire interaction. This really was my week for meeting weird men, wasn't it? It wasn't long after that when my lunch arrived. I ate quickly, mentally going over what I intended to tell them when I stopped in to give my statement later on, and trying to forget my encounter with the odd, blonde man. I just hope this statement doesn't take too long. On his route, I feel like the most difficult thing is figuring out when he's being sarcastic and when he's being sincere. He says a lot of honest and sad things that he masks behind sarcasm. See, that's the troll way. You know, when you're like only half joking. You make a joke like Yuri just did, and it masks the pain deep down inside. But you were being sarcastic and jokey about it. He's a sad boy then, you know? He's a sad boy that comes across as sarcastic. You know what? I love sad boys. I quickly finished up my lunch and decided to head home to drop off my bag, then work my way toward to address Mr. Kellner had given me. I was so focused on getting back that I wasn't paying much attention to my surroundings after that. Looking back, that was definitely my first mistake. I had just exited a pedestrian-only area and was passing a sleek, blue car parked near the footpath when it happened. Out of the corner of my eye, there was a strange flash, and for a split second, everything was silent. I quickly turned, but there was nothing there. Sound flooded back into the world, and everything was normal. I stood still for a long moment, just looking around as if that would help me work out what had happened. Something's wrong. It was as if there had just been a glitch in reality, but no one else had seemed to notice it. What the heck was that? I didn't get a chance to finish the thought. From behind me, someone grabbed me by the shoulders, causing me to drop everything in my hands. And without warning, I was being pushed towards the blue car I had passed only seconds earlier. Is this how we ended up yesterday? We were puking. And then it was like a day earlier this happened. Is this how I got kidnapped? What? No! Help! But you always tell people that even with a million words, that you have 99.9% accuracy and still have hundreds of typos in there. That's true. Very true. Yes. I twisted wildly to see who was there, but they kept me facing forward as they shoved me along. No! I was not allowing this. I planted both of my feet firmly on the footpath, pushing back against them as I let out a painful shriek. The surrounding people continued to walk past without even looking our way. How are you gonna just hear someone screaming like that, getting kidnapped, and just keep walking? And ain't nobody gonna be like, oh my God, can I help you? Someone call the cops. Nobody's gonna call the police. Nobody. Wow. What? How can they just ignore this? Do I fight? Do I flee? Do I choice? Oh, I can't do the locked one. Excuse me. Do I fight? I'm gonna fight, right? Does Magnus he likes confident people. I think I should fight. Ash said, I'll go with you and wait for the right moment to stab you in the back. Yep, don't mess with Ash. Don't mess with Ash. Ash is gonna find a way. I'm gonna flee. That's what I have to do. I twisted my arms away from him at the same time. I stomped down on his foot hard, trying desperately to remember what my brother had taught me. So your brother taught you some self-defense. You have a brother? I have a brother too. Is this an older brother or a younger brother? My attacker loosened his grip for a split second, long enough for me to wrench myself away from him. Scrambling down the footpath in a panic, my only thought was of getting away. I didn't know what was happening, but I knew I wasn't going with them. If no one else would help me, I would just have to get away on my own. Cranky kidnapper, damn it! I veered left into a nearby alley, trying to just get out of sight, and maybe onto another street where I wouldn't be ignored. She has 4 brothers? You think 3 are older and 1 is younger. Wow, she has a big family. But I didn't get much further. There were footsteps behind me, and seconds later, someone caught my arm and pinned me to a nearby wall in one swift movement. That's the kidnapper. I understand that you're afraid, but we don't have time to sit down to a little coffee while we explain. You have to come with us. Who are? Tall kidnapper.
Caleb, the car is here.
Ari, help me with her. We'll explain things later. Right now, we don't have time for it. We're not the only ones after you. Why does everybody want a piece of me? But I'm cute and I'm powerful. Everybody wants me because I'm the MC. Everybody wants a piece of MC. Right now, we don't have time for it. We're not the only ones after you. Wait, what? Everyone take a drink of water because MC's just said, what? Huh? Yeah? The one called Caleb pulled me away from the wall, holding my arm tightly. People were after me, but why? I stumbled after Caleb as he redirected me to the nearby car. I wasn't a terribly willing participant in this little situation, but Caleb was far stronger than I was. Ari climbed into the front seat, while Caleb forced me into the back and got in behind me, slamming the door shut. It's a fancy, futuristic-looking car. Honestly, it kind of looks like my car IRL, but without like the holographic stuff. But I do have like the screen on the top like that. I have, my colors are like brown and white. They kind of look like that. The interior, it looks a lot like my car. A lot like my car. Caleb has a punchable face. Could just be that you want to punch the lads, Caleb. Don't bring lads, Caleb, into this. How dare you? But also, he has his moments. I will give you that. Everyone hated Caleb in the demo to the point that you nearly removed him from the game. But he's one of the top 3 LIs now. See? You just got to give him a chance. Because the trashbandos in the end, people love. In the end, especially if they redeem themselves. You know? Wow. Go. It's because they're tired of getting kidnapped. But then guess what, y'all? He's going to be a jerk at first, but then when we break into his shell, he's going to be real loving. He's going to be real lovey-dovey. He's going to be a blushy mess. Watch him be a blushy sunbun, Watch him be a tsundere. Ari is the top LI, which surprised me, but it's because Quill stole of the Caleb fans. Quill, which one was that again? We'll see him soon. Okay, so we've met the number 1 LI, y'all. Is Magnus the least favorite? That is my favorite. I was pressed back into the seat as Ari slammed his foot on the accelerator. He is. Guess what, everybody? I have chosen for today's boyfriend the least popular love interest in all of Gilded Shadows. Yes, I did, on purpose. Guess what? I'm gonna be a Magnus apologizer for the rest of this stream. He pisses people off a lot, but his fans are very devoted. His fans are like, we gotta give him extra love to make up for all of the hate that he gets. I was pressed back into the seat as Ari slammed his foot on the accelerator. Now alone with the two of them, I let out a shaky breath. Now, tell me what's going on. What do you two want with me? Neither answered.
As expected, we are being tailed.
Tailed? By who? Why? Caleb shot me an exasperated look but ignored my questions as he leaned over into the front seat. Y'all could have picked me up in a different way. You didn't have to kidnap me like this. Y'all could have been like, MC is reasonable. You could have been like, ma'am, you're in danger. We need you to come with us, okay? At least like talk to us. You might have been able to convince us to go willing rather than like forcibly kidnapping us. Caleb shot me an exasperated look but ignored my questions as he leaned over in the front seat.
How many?
Ari checked a console next to him, frowning.
At least 3 others are closing in on our location.
3 other what? Now that I had calmed down, I realized I should call for help. It was amazing how adrenaline could completely erode one's ability to think logically. Keeping one eye on the two of them, I tried to connect with the safety department through the net. Wait, what? I couldn't connect. That was impossible, because it's in your brain, right? It's like your cell phone is in your brain. Ari made a wild turn, sending me headlong into the door. Ow! I only just managed to avoid slamming my head into the window. There was a flash of worry across Caleb's face as he pulled me back away from the door.
Time for the contingency plan. Van said she has an area cleared near here. Get us there. I'm trying to do so.
I glanced behind us, realizing there was another car that appeared to be following us, just like they'd said. How? Did I get myself in the middle of some high-speed car chase? This was insane.
Change of plans. Get us out of here now, Ari. You realize if I just teleport us out, they'll see the distortion trail.
Teleport? Espers.
Then we have to get them off our trail first. I don't believe this is going to be possible. Then we need a way to mask the trail so they can't track us.
Ari made another sharp turn, this time sending me face first into Caleb. He wrapped an arm around me as he braced himself against the front seat so he wouldn't slide around as much. I struggled against him, but his grip was too tight to get away. Is this their first time kidnapping? They're doing terrible. It is? Y'all should go back to your day jobs, okay? Because your kidnapping skills suck.
Well, hold on. I have an idea.
There is a character whose attempt is even worse. We just didn't meet him this time. So in other routes you meet him? Is that what happened? Let go of me. I gave Caleb a shove, but it was like shoving a wall. He didn't even look my way. Is it because he's so buff? Goodness, I should have given them kidnapping classes. Case's attempt is to politely ask the MC to get in his car. When she says no, he's like, okay. Instead, still holding me tightly, he moved us both aside as Ari apparently set the car to auto and climbed into the back seat with us. Man, all of these men are like looking for us, aren't they? Every single one of them. Like the flirt, when he showed up, it probably wasn't by accident. And then Magnus, he said he was there for us and he was all winky about it. He's like, oh, I found the one I was looking for, you know? And then he mysteriously disappeared. You know, he left. And then these guys, they're like, there she is, get her, throw her in the car. Yep. Jack mocks Kesa for being bad at kidnapping. I love that. That's so good. I love funny character interactions like that. The car abruptly slammed into high gear. I could hear the high-pitched whine of the power coil as we sped up. Crushed into Caleb's chest as I was, I only caught a glimpse of what was outside the windscreen. We were on a long street with an intersection ahead, and across a building we were headed towards at full speed. What are you?
Hold on.
Wait. Were they about to drive into the building at full speed? My head filled with the sound of the power coil trying to overload. I clapped both hands to my ears and screamed. There was a flash of light and then everything stretched and twisted. I couldn't see anything or hear anything. It felt like my body was being ripped apart. My scream thinned into nothing. And then we were tumbling onto the stone floor like we'd been spit out of thin air. Oh, God! I staggered forward, free from Caleb, but running wasn't an option. My entire field of vision was spinning. I pressed the back of my hand to my mouth, trying to swallow down the taste of bile and will my stomach to untie itself. That felt like a space fold, a wormhole, or something. There was no technology I knew of to create any sort of micro wormhole. Caleb and Ari seemed unfazed by what had just happened, as if they'd done it 1,000 times before. They were speaking, but their words were like an uncomfortable buzz in my head. I couldn't make out what they were saying. My stomach finally gave out and I gagged onto the floor, clutching my abdomen as it tied itself in painful knots. Everything tilted, and I hit the ground, barely managing to catch myself. I was still choking on the taste of acid and whatever was left in my stomach. That finally got attention. There were footsteps, and someone was crouching next to me. His hand passed gently over my back, a surprisingly gentle gesture from a damn kidnapper.
It's all right. Try to take deep breaths.
Instinct told me to scramble away, but my body wasn't exactly in prime scrambling condition. I stayed in place, squinting at the ground and wishing he'd go away.
The first jump can be a little disorienting. It'll pass soon.
Disorienting was an understatement. I just ignored him and tried to figure out what to do next. I just need to get a hold of myself. How had all this happened? And more importantly, what did these two men want with me? I was hardly a prime kidnapping target. I leaned over to rest my forehead against the cold ground, trying to take slow, deep breaths. The soft trickle of water echoed to me from somewhere in the building, but it was otherwise quiet. You'd think with being in the mafia, he'd have experience with kidnapping, but I guess his minions do all the kidnapping. You gotta have your minions do all the dirty work, you know? You can't do it yourself. You can't get caught red-handed doing dirty work yourself. Where were we? How far had we traveled during that jump, as he called it? Rubble littered the floor, chunks of mortar, bits of twisted metal, pebbles, dust, and broken glass. There was also a strange smell like wet soil and rot. Ew! From what I could see, it looked like a damaged vivarium or hydroponic center. There were some broken containers scattered around and a few stray piles of dark soil, like the sort my father used to work at. He used it at work. Let's take a look at this background. This is amazing. Wow. You know what's really cool? The way that the sunlight is shining through the mosaic glass. The stained mosaic glass, and you can actually see the colors on the floor beneath. That is a nice touch. A very nice attention to detail. Really makes it extra beautiful. From what I could see, it looked like a damaged vivarium or hydroponic center. There were some broken containers scattered around, and a few stray piles of dark soil, like the sort my father used at work. Tendrils of vines sneaked through the wreckage, as well as some tenacious plants that had taken over after the place was damaged. You forgot to add animations to some of the backgrounds? There was going to be animations? Wow. None of it was useful for escaping, but it gave me an idea where we could be. So we kind of have an idea what location we're at, because luckily we know the materials and things. Oh, this one is slightly animated if you look at the beams of light from the ceiling. Okay, hold on, we're gonna look at the ceiling. You're right, it is moving. Ooh! Oh my gosh, Esh. That's so stunning. I love that little detail. I love that. There had been a sector of Cecilis hit by a terrorist group last year. It had been a shock to everyone to have an attack so deep into New Albion. Seriously, y'all listen, okay? Esh is the goat. Teach me your ways, says Yuri. Real. Esh knows what Esh knows how to give a little extra like sparkle, you know? To just like really draw you in. You didn't notice it when you played it? Listen, we're gonna find all the little things like that. All the little things that when we're just reading and moving along too quickly, we don't stop and smell the roses. But it's worth it to be observant. Repairs had stalled due to some kind of bureaucratic nonsense. Much of it was still damaged and the entire sector was off limits. Aside from a few security guards and municipal officers at the entrances, it was also supposed to be empty. I wasn't an expert on espers, but I knew from Trent that most knights could only teleport short distances, line of sight, maybe a few kilometers, if they'd been to the location before. The damaged sector was around 12 kilometers from where I lived, so that held up. I tried to catch my breath and quell the nausea. Okay, good. That was good. If that's where we were, then getting back home wouldn't be an impossibility if I could get away. That was the problematic part, though. I shifted slightly, turning my head just enough to get a look at Ari and Caleb. So the puking, was that because of the teleportation? Ari was still right next to me, but Caleb was 2 or 3 meters away. If Ari was an Esper, surely Caleb was as well. Espers, and also criminals. I had no reason to assume this was tied with what happened yesterday, and yet it seemed like too big a coincidence for it not to be connected. Yep, Ari's teleportation technique makes people violently ill the first time they experience it. It's an ongoing thing. Yep, I think it's kind of like, it's like getting seasick. Like if you've never been on the ocean before, and then the waves start going and you're on a boat, and you get really bad seasickness, you know, or car sick or something like that. But even knowing that, it wasn't like it told me what they wanted with me. No one else is around. I'll contact the tower and have the Moirai try to get a read on this place. Did I say that right? The Moirai? Gotta love when you get to taste your food again.
Exactly. But before that, care to explain why you brought us here? No one else knows who we're with. If they do manage to track us this far, they still won't be able to determine who managed to succeed in acquiring her.
I chewed my lip and kept one eye on them as I carefully pushed myself up. My legs were cramping, and something hard was jabbing into my knee. That's what she said. Even if I couldn't run just yet, I didn't have to stay all huddled up. For now, I just... I doubled over as the nausea returned with a righteous vengeance. Oh no. So, moving was a bad plan. I gripped at my abdomen hard enough. I was surprised I didn't push my stomach out through my spine.
Crimson knows who we are.
Crimson? When your lunch decides to make an encore appearance. That's never a good thing. Encore appearance. Oh God. That's quite the way to describe that.
He's the only one. So, you're hoping that if no one knows which faction took her, they'll just fight amongst themselves for a while. That's a long shot.
I tried to listen in as I fought off the nausea, but none of it made sense. They were talking about factions and Crimson. All things that had nothing to do with me. I was a student.
I can't stay here. If Crimson doesn't find out where we went, someone else will. We aren't the only one with bishops. Let's go.
Lunch. Hey, Pookie, did you miss me? He joined me and Ari, stopping a half a meter or so away.
How is she? Not well. Jitterrue, can you stand up?
I managed to glare at him through my hair, gritting out an answer. Do I look like I can stand?
I believe that means no. I apologize for the discomfort. As I mentioned, the first jump is often rough for people. I wouldn't have subjected you to it if it hadn't been necessary. Okay, enough. We don't have time for you to play the knight. We need to move, even if it means one of us has to carry her. Caleb.
I winced as the buzzing in my head came back.
Get her to her feet, come on. I know how she feels. But we can't wait for her to recover. My apologies, Rue.
At least he's being a gentleman about it. Ari, clearly the more polite of the two, tried to pull me to my feet. I did not cooperate, only partly due to being ill, but mostly because I didn't want to go anywhere. The further we got back from my home, the less likely I'd be able to get back there. Why are we doing this? My parents can't pay a ransom. Neither one bothered to answer my question. I swallowed hard, wishing I at least had something to wash my mouth with. As if in answer to my thoughts, a small flask appeared in the edge of my vision. I stared at it apprehensively.
Drink, quickly. We need to leave.
Look at Mr. Beau being so sweet to Penny. He loves Penny. Aren't you two so precious? Yes. Look at you. How cute are they? They're the cutest dogs ever. Okay, we're gonna go back to the game because we're in an exciting moment right now. Take the flask and drink or slap it out of his hand. Can I do that? I want to slap it out of his hand. How dare he kidnap me? I'm doing that. Unless it'll hurt my chances of getting Pookie Bear. Okay, Pookie Bear Magnus. Slap it out of his hand. Yes! Slap it out of his hand. How dare you, trifling? How dare? I reached for the flask, half intending to take it and half intending to slap it out of his hand. Rinsing my mouth was more important than being defiant, but my hand betrayed me. I slapped it away, sending it spinning across the floor dramatically. Oops! Sorry, not sorry. Oh, not that I felt too guilty about it. Good girl, you should not feel guilty about that. It was kind of satisfying, to be honest. There was silence. A split second later, a pair of hands grasped me by the arms and hauled me to my feet. I didn't have time to go limp the way I had with Ari. I came face to face with Caleb. Nausea washed over me, and I thought for a moment that I'd vomit on him. Unfortunately, this time my stomach managed to control itself. Unfortunately, because we wanted to vomit all over Caleb. I think she's well enough to handle a second jump. Ari's face. I know. Ari's like, oh God. Caleb. He's like exasperated with this man. Ari, we don't have time to wait. If she can act like that, she can handle it. I ripped myself out of his arms and took a wobbly step away. No, I was not doing that again. If not because I had no intention of being kidnapped, then because I wasn't going to endure my insides turning themselves upside down again. What do you people even want with me? Ari stepped to my side again and set a hand on my shoulder. Rue. No, you're going to take me away from here. What do you even want with me? Rue, we're here to help you. I know this must be difficult. By kidnapping me and nearly killing me? He looked almost sad, and that just made me even angrier. This wasn't a situation where the villains get to be sympathetic. We'll explain everything later. Let's go. It's already later. He took me by the wrist, and this time I couldn't get away from him. Caleb. Get ready to make another jump, Ari. We don't have time. Ari moved closer and I just lost it. There was no time to worry about how I felt or who they were. I was already far from home, and going for another jump was out of the question. No! I clawed at Caleb's hand, trying to pry it off my wrist. Stop! Calm down. He tried to pin my free hand with his as I dug my nails into his fingers to pry them off. I somehow managed to drag my wrist from his grasp, only to have the other immediately captured. It was at that moment I attacked full force, screaming, kicking, and clawing at anything I could reach. Damn it, Ari! He pinned my wrists, but I kicked out savagely, catching him awkwardly in the thigh. Get him, girl, get him! Let go! Ari slipped his hands under my arms and started to drag me out of leg reach, while Caleb cursed loudly. Apparently neither of them had been expecting the outburst. I hadn't really been planning it either, but I might as well just go with it now. I twisted violently, trying to wrench myself from Ari. I was still watching Caleb out of the corner of my eye. He was definitely trying to work out how to get close enough without getting another kick, but he suddenly whipped his head to the left, his eyes going wide. Ari, watch out! I didn't get the chance to see what caught his attention before the pillar beside us exploded. Chapter 3, Iron and Steel Will Bend and Bow. Oh my gosh! I screamed and ducked down when the pillar exploded. Ari grabbed me and dragged me back, spinning both of us around the edge of one of the other pillars. I stood there, heart hammering, back to stone, and face staring at Ari's Adam's apple as he shielded me from a volley of what sounded like weapons fire. Sort of. What is happening? I didn't actually hear a weapon, just the sound of the building being damaged around us. Even sonic weapons made noise. I couldn't understand what was happening. Caleb, who had dived behind some nearby rubble, pulled out a small handgun and fired back at our attacker. I clapped my hands to my ears, sending up a panicked prayer as everything spiraled completely out of control. The ground less than half a meter from me exploded, shooting a spray of stone flecks up towards my face. At the same time, the entire building shook as if hit from the outside. Instinct kicked in, and my body moved on its own. I had no idea where I was intending to run. I was just gonna run. Away! As far as my brain got. Ari stepped in front of me, placing one arm across my shoulders to pin me in place while he fended off any debris that would have struck me. I mean, it's kind of hot. Also, his eyes are glowing. And there was a mention of an Adam's apple. One of my favorite things with husbandos is when there's an Adam's apple. It's like one of those little details. I love it. When there's a pronounced Adam's apple, especially in a good CG, it's like the hottest thing ever. Love, love, love. You love Ari so much. He's definitely swoon-worthy. He's making you simp, just saying. I know. I don't blame you at all. Honestly, hot. He's one of your top 3. Wow, the girlie's going crazy over Ari right now. He is shielding us, you know. He kidnapped us and now he's protecting us. It's pretty hot. The building shook again, and another shower of debris fell on us from above. Was someone firing from outside? But why? Ari did his best to shield me, but I wasn't interested in being protected by him. He was a damn kidnapper. He didn't get to act chivalrous now. I tried to shove him away, but he kept my arms pinned. Let go! Stay down! You think this is called Stockholm Syndrome? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. A loud explosion rumbled through the floor, and several more shots struck the ground just beyond the pillar. Caleb fired back, though it didn't seem to do much good. Is it just me, or is that a psi burst? It is not just you. Who even is that? What? Ari calmly placed a hand over my mouth. Will you shut up? You shut up, Caleb. They didn't exactly introduce themselves before they started flinging those things at us. He stopped berating me, only long enough to fire several shots at the attacker. I shoved Ari's hand off my face. Why are you shouting at me like that's my fault? And there are 2 of them now. One has a sonic rifle. There appear to be more of them outside. Not sure if they're from the same faction. Yeah, I noticed that when they started trying to bring the whole damn place down on our heads. The moment they get over the wall out there, we're done. Ari peered around the pillar. Those 2 are shooting at each other for the moment. Perhaps we should take the opportunity to flee. Flee? Where? You teleport. And we might as well send up a beacon saying who we are and where we're going. What was the point of even coming here if we do that? For a moment, it was so surreal, as if I was watching it all from the outside. Caleb and Ari were just having a conversation while Caleb exchanged weapons fire with the 2 people. One of who was apparently an Esper shooting some sort of psi attack at us? Just couldn't get my head around it. Haha, I got so tired of hearing Stockholm. When making this game, I remember having to sit a few people down and explain misogynistic history of that term. Oh, You know what? You should give us a little lesson. I'll read it. I was listening to a podcast one time about Stockholm Syndrome, and they're talking about how it doesn't actually exist. Like, there is no actual, diagnosable Stockholm Syndrome. And I was like, Interesting. I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't exist. See? Maybe it is true.
How the hell did they find us anyway? An adept team of bishops, no doubt.
Are you ever going to tell me what's happening? I let out another short scream as something hit the pillar Ari and I were behind, sending a terrifyingly powerful vibration through my body. I've never heard of that one, Yuri. Lima syndrome? What's that? You're making a game that has Lima syndrome. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. Never mind. Not talking anymore.
Ari, get her the hell out of here. I think it would be unwise to leave you alone. You cannot. Get the queen out of here, Vaughn.
That's an order. A queen. Did you just refer to me as a queen? You may call me your majesty. You may bow down at my feet. Okay, you may kiss my hand. All right, I'm a queen. Call me your majesty from now on. The origin situation was a hostage situation where the police badly mishandled it, and a female victim was uncooperative and sympathized with the people who held her hostage because the police put the hostages' lives in danger, but the robbers actually treated them fairly well. Oh, and that's why people were like, you know, they were saying the robbers are not actually that bad, and then as like to kind of call the hostages crazy, they were like, oh, they got Stockholm syndrome. Oh, and everyone was shocked the victims weren't happy with the police and came up with the term to explain why they disliked the police and sympathized with the robbers. Oh, that's Stockholm syndrome. Honestly, I think I heard about that in that podcast. It was like years ago that I heard that. Yes. Okay, Yuri says Lima syndrome is its opposite, when the captor developed sympathy and feeling to the kidnapped. Okay, so you're saying Lima is if the kidnapper starts to have feelings for the kidnapped victim. Wow. And that would be assuming they didn't have prior empathy or feeling for the victim before kidnapping them, right? So it's not like a yandere. Is there such a thing as like a yandere syndrome? Is yandere syndrome a thing? Queen, yes, boys, you may call me your majesty. No way.
I hope you realize you do not outrank me. Damn it, Ari, just do it.
Caleb suddenly darted out from his hiding place to another pillar to get a better vantage point from which to murder people, I assumed. You're probably right, Esh. I think yandere syndrome is just called abuse in real life. It's terrible. God. But listen, okay, there are a couple yandere. Okay, the most mild yandere that I know, the most mild yandere is Nick from Criminally Yours. He never actually hurts MC. He just does stuff, you know, like, he will hurt people that are not MC, you know, like somebody trying to like get too cozy, trying to harm. If someone tries to hurt MC, Nick will take him out if they tried to hurt her. Okay. Technically, all three, Stockholm, Lima, and yandere, are all fictional, but yandere do have traits with abuse victims. You think the difference, says Yuri. Esh says, I think the difference in fiction is that fiction can marry traits that aren't connected in real life. That's the beauty of fiction, you know? Like, why do people like horror, right? Horror as a genre. Nobody wants any horror situation. We don't want monsters. We don't want like psycho killers coming after us in real life. But why do we consume that in fiction? It's because there's a couple things that fiction allows us to do. It allows us to, our brains to explore. It allows our brains to, in a safe way, explore these types of things. It allows us to kind of vicariously experience something that's thrilling, that gets the adrenaline pumping, you know what I mean? It's interesting. But you also know because it's fiction, it's not actually you. You're safe, you know, you're not actually gonna get got. You're not actually getting got. That's the thing. In fiction, you can have someone who is a stalker, but also selflessly in love with the MC in a game. But in real life, it's not really like that. But in fiction, you can have someone who would be fully in love with an MC and willing to burn the world for her, literally. But in real life, someone who would lock up the MC isn't going to be so self-sacrificing for her. We can just dissect and rearrange personality traits in fictional ways when writing stories. Yeah, exactly. Like in fiction, you know, why do we love yandere so much? It's like the idea of somebody loving you wholeheartedly, that they'll like destroy everything for one person. That's an appealing thing, but it doesn't truly exist like that. Exactly. And again, only in fiction do we like this kind of thing. IRL? No. No. In real life, we're calling the cops, okay? That's what we're doing IRL. In fiction, let's go. Okay? I can hang with the book talk girlies. I can hang with the book talk girlies and the monster lovers, all right? Caleb suddenly darted out from his hiding place to another pillar to get a better vantage point from which to murder people, I assumed. He fired off more shots, leaving me wondering why he was using a weapon and not whatever psi abilities he possessed. Ari sighed, and I had the strangest feeling this sort of situation had played out with them many times. That this was just every day for them. I need to get you to a safer location while they're distracted with each other, but I don't wish to attract attention, so we're gonna run. Wait, what? He took my hand, and with a quick look around the pillar, dragged me from where we were to another pillar a short distance away. You went to a conference about yandere and its traits, and it's basically devotion when the person receives the opposite of what is expected, and causes a safe haven, which can cause a person's life to feel like it will collapse if they lose that safe haven. So a person will do anything to keep their safe haven. Interesting. Well, you know, I wrote a yandere story now. I made a visual novel. Y'all know this. But if you're lurking, you didn't know this. I made a visual novel. It's a yandere story. It's a female yandere. And I don't want to like spoil what happens in it, but she definitely has that whole safe haven thing going on. And then how she reacts to after she's lost her safe haven in a way, you know? What happens when the yandere hasn't quite moved on, but kind of sort of does, you know? I can't tell you too much because it's only 1,000 words visual novel. It's the O2A2 Jam game. But you know what? I need to do a stream of it just so we could like dive in and unpack all the stuff and talk about yanderes more. I literally showed the traits really well. Thank you. I've played a lot of yandere games, but I was also really thinking deep into like her brain, you know? Like if she is this yandere kind of character in the traits that she has, like, and you put her in this situation, you know, how, and I only had 1,000 words to do it. Like, how would she behave? You know, why would she behave? So I had like, you didn't get to see it in the thing, but I had written up this whole backstory of like, what was motivating her. You know, why would she behave this way? And how other people saw it as sick, but to her it was reasonable. All right, we're with Hottie McHotties. I ducked my head down and bit my lip to keep from screaming the entire way. Running around in a place where people were shooting at each other wasn't something I wanted to do again. From behind our new hiding spot, Ari scanned the area as if deciding on a path. I had a sinking feeling we were definitely doing that again. There is a corridor on the adjacent wall. If we can make it there, we should be safe. Why not just teleport like you did before?
My teleportation ability leaves a distinctive distortion trail that can be tracked. Teleporting across the room will draw attention and fire.
I grabbed his arm, glaring up at him. I meant, why not teleport us out of this damn building to safety? I know you can teleport over long distances. Why not get us out of here instead of running around and hiding like this?
The same reason. A longer distance means a more visible trail. We would prefer to not leave a clear signal as to who you are with, much less where we've taken you.
Taken me? Stop talking about me like I'm a thing.
This is no time for a discussion.
As if to punctuate that, a shot from one of the others slammed into the pillar we had just left, taking a huge chunk off. Ari checked quickly, then looked back my way.
We're going.
Wait! He did not wait. He grabbed my arm, and together we darted from that pillar to a pile of rubble. Ari ducked behind it and pulled me to the ground with him. But as I went down, I caught a look at one of the people Caleb was fighting. A woman in black with some kind of breathing mask on her face. She slinked back out of the fractured rainbow light from above and into the shadows, right as she winked out of sight. She looked our way, and maybe I just imagined it, but it felt like our eyes met. A shiver crawled down my spine. Then she was gone. Ari had seen her vanish as well. He crouched behind the debris, a frown passing over his face.
A night. This isn't good.
A night, which meant she could teleport like him. We weren't really safe anywhere in this room. Not when Caleb wasn't right next to us, prepared to shoot anyone who teleported to our location.
Rue, hold on to me.
Oh, okay. What? Yes, I didn't actually have time to do it. Rather, Ari grabbed me. And once again, the world twisted and warped. When I staggered out of whatever you would call that sensation, we were right in front of the opening Ari mentioned before. Teleportation! How come you can do that now, but you couldn't do it before? It opened into the yawning darkness. He shoved me in, tucking me against the wall just beyond the doorway. I thought you said we weren't doing that again. Yeah.
The situation changed. Stay quiet.
His body was tense, as if he was watching to see if we'd been followed. But from where he was standing, the room we'd left wasn't even visible from where we stood. He could do it. He said it's because they can either be tracked that way, so it wouldn't matter, but he got desperate. Okay, that makes sense. All right. He got desperate. He knows that they could be tracked, but he did it anyways because he was weighing the risks, okay? It was riskier not to do it.
Thankfully, the knight appears to be preoccupied with Caleb and the other one for now. It doesn't appear that anyone is heading this way. Though I can't be certain, they aren't aware of which direction we went.
The building shuddered again, sending a shower of dirt on us from above. Ari planted his arms on either side of me, and the air buzzed slightly with what I could only assume was psi energy. He managed to block most of the debris. Seconds later, oh my god, when his eyes glow like that, it's so hot. It's so freaking hot. Oh my god. Esh. The glowing eyes. Okay. Seconds later, Ari was pulling me further from the light and into the darkened corridor, but he glanced behind worriedly.
I don't believe Caleb will hold out long alone.
The glowy eyes are popular. Yet I could see why. I bit back the sarcastic response to that. Because as angry as I was, I didn't really want Caleb to get hurt. Or anyone. I hoped no one got hurt. It was a stupid, childish hope that had absolutely no place here, though.
We don't know how many are outside either. A knight that can use psi bursts that strong is unusual.
He seemed to be talking to himself more than to me, but I hazarded a look up at him. What's a psi burst?
A psychic attack. You cannot be hit by one, Rue.
I can't. Why not?
Besides the physical damage, they can severely disrupt the neural pathways of people who don't know how to block them.
Does Caleb know how to block them?
Caleb is a rook. His ability to physically enhance his body gives him a measure of resistance to this type of attack.
A measure of? That didn't sound very promising. Ari stopped walking and set his hands on my shoulders, leaning down to look earnestly into my eyes. That means he's tall, you know? He's leaning down.
Rue, you must hide.
What?
She and the others are targeting you. We had hoped to retrieve you before other factions found you or moved in, but we underestimated them.
He's 6'3". He's the tallest LI. Wow. Okay. Well, shall we read about him? Let's read about him. Ari Vaughn. He's a tall tree, and I will climb him. Age 36, 24 Earth years. Rank, Knight. Faction, Endgame overview. Stoic, calm, and chivalrous. Ari is known for being impassive and difficult to read. He keeps his feelings to himself and rarely expresses strong emotions. He's a kudere, y'all. A kudere. More of a listener than a talker. It's sometimes difficult to know what's going on behind his usually serious expression. He has been a part of Endgame since his very early childhood, having been taken in by them at a far earlier age than most of the organization's other members. Wow! Is he like an agent? They said he's like a soldier. Is he like a super soldier agent?
We had hoped to retrieve you before the other factions found you or moved in, but we underestimated them.
What does that even mean?
Listen to me. I'm unsure who's outside at the moment, but someone is interfering with our connection to the net. I've been trying to call for backup, but I cannot connect. For now, I need to retrieve Caleb.
Yeah, he, Caleb, Magnus, and you are all Endgame agents. Oh! Caleb really was Caleb. Magnus was on a mission to find us when we saw him at the grocer with the oranges, the tangerines. He wasn't there just to go shopping. He was there for us. That's what I think.
In the worst case, I will get the three of us to safety. It's better for them to know who we are than for you to fall into their hands. Find a safe place to hide until we come for you.
Magnus, says Esh, maybe I'll see you later. Knows full well MC is half an hour from being apprehended. Exactly. He turned away, but I grabbed his sleeve. You're wrong, all of you. You're wrong about me.
You are the one who is wrong.
Then tell me who you are. Are you?
We'll explain everything soon. You have my word. Be safe, Rue.
And with that, the space in front of me distorted slightly, and he vanished. I sagged against the wall, unsure if I should be relieved or terrified now that I was alone. From the sound of it, fighting was intensifying on all sides. I didn't know what to do. Whether it was because we didn't go far, or because I had already done it once, the effects of the second jump hadn't been as bad as the first. I felt shaky, but that was more from being shot at then teleporting again, but I was glad for a few seconds to stop and collect my thoughts. Where do I go now? I didn't want to hide only to be caught by Ari and Caleb later on. Just because the other people searching for me were also terrifying didn't mean I would choose to go with them quietly. I clenched my jaw and continued down the corridor the way Ari and I had been going. There was very little light filtering in, and it was creepy as hell. But I wouldn't have a chance like this again. It does look creepy. Yuri heard, all I heard was done it once again, and I thought it was a whole different situation. You're in the gutter. Always in the gutter. While they were occupied, I needed to get as far away as I could. I couldn't afford to be cautious now. What? Really? Ari has never done it. Not even once. Wait, what? Really though? He hasn't? If I could make it outside, I could figure out how to get away from it all. I would get home again somehow. It's okay, Ari Pookie, says Yuri. I will walk you through it. Yes. Exactly. Yes. Broken glass crunched under my feet as I walked, but the sounds of fighting faded a bit as I went deeper into the building. I wasn't sure where I was going. My father had worked in places like this, though. Based on having been in a few similar buildings, I figured I would find emergency exits at the far end of this main hallway. There might be some in the rooms I passed, but I didn't want to corner myself in one of those, just in case. In the meantime, my mind was swirling with questions and uncomfortable theories. Caleb had mentioned a queen, or rather, he'd clearly called me that. A queen, huh? That they somehow thought I was a queen ranked Esper might explain their actions somewhat. Espers were rare, less than 2% of the population. And of those, even fewer hit the upper ranks of the EA scale. Queens and kings were the two rarest ability types. Less than 1% of Espers held those ranks, far less. But I had never once demonstrated telekinesis on the level of something like a queen rank. Based on the skills I'd exhibited, I always assumed I was on the lowest rungs to have them thinking I was a queen. What would cause them to assume that? The fountain thing? It couldn't have been that. Neither Caleb nor Ari had even been around for that. Unless... Jack. Were they working with him? Wait. Jack. Is he... I can't remember what you said earlier. Is he an agent too? I know you said Magnus, Caleb, and Ari are all in the same thing. Yeah. You can't help but laugh at your past writing sometimes. I get that. I'm like that too. Jack is not an endgame agent. Okay. He's not in the organization. Got it. There shouldn't have been a way to know I caused the fountain thing. But if they'd already been watching me at that point, then they had some other reason to suspect I was an Esper. That couldn't be it. A broken fountain was not queen-level telekinesis. There's no way Jack or anyone else would have seen that and immediately thought I was a queen. Okay, so a queen is not like royalty in this. It's like a level of ability. If you're a queen, does that mean you're like top tier Esper powers? Is that what that means? And that brought me back to the previous point. They should have no reason to be watching me in the first place. Besides, Jack had a Delphine accent, while Caleb and Ari did not. That could mean nothing. No, Espers are based off chess pieces. Queens are the most powerful Espers. Oh, they're based off of chess. So that's why you have like a knight, a rook, a bishop. I get it now. I've been seeing these words. I understand. So they're saying that we're a queen, like a chess piece. That's pretty cool. Well, then who's a king? Is that the top? Is a queen and a king in this game the same level of power? But at a very surface level, it could show they had nothing to do with each other. I didn't know. How could I come up with any solid answers based on the limited information I had? I couldn't. So for now, getting away from this madness was my priority. With knights who could pop in and out of shadows, or wormholes, and who even knows what other abilities. Well, in chess, if you lose the king, that's what loses the game. So losing the queen is not an automatic loss of the game. However, you're very likely to lose the game if you lose your queen, because the queen is one of your best moves. Kings are the ones that have to be protected. They do have very unique ability. That is quite important to the setting, but in some ways are also weak. Yeah, in chess that's true. Like a king can only move like one space, and you have to protect them, because if the king gets taken out, you lose. It's over. Knights, they can move in like an L shape. So that's why teleportation works for them, because they can like hop over pieces, you know, that are in their way and just move over in an L shape. Rooks, they can go to straight line and they can take out other pawns in their way. The queen can go a straight line or diagonal and take out anything in her way. The bishop goes diagonal only. And the pawn can only go like 1 or 2 steps forward, one at a time. You'll never understand chess? Did I miss any pieces? Yeah, the weakest ones are the pawns. And the king is kind of a glorified pawn if you think about it. A glorified pawn with all the power, all the decision-making power, I guess. Anyway, I wouldn't feel safe until I was hidden somewhere none of them would find me. And even then, maybe not. Well, now I understand the chess motif, like the cover on the menu screen and stuff. It's like a chessboard kinda. And I think there's a queen image on it. There's chess pieces in a motif throughout the game. In Gilded Shadows, pawns are called infantry, a historic name for that piece, because I didn't want to use pawn. But they're the weakest, but also can get promoted to any other piece if you make it to the end of the board. Therefore, that's what endgame is. This is so clever, Esh. You're a freaking genius. Oh my god. You are, and then you turned it into a visual novel and personified a whole chess team, a whole chessboard with different factions and stuff. Oh my god. You're a freaking genius. Y'all, we are in the presence of genius right now. Just bask in it. Bask in the glow of the genius. Yuri, also my head hurts now from thinking. I, for one, am basking in the glow of the genius that is being bestowed upon us. I get it now, Esh. Like a light bulb just turned on in my brain, and I'm like, I got it. I'm in. Yes, 100%. Let's go. And even then, maybe not. They literally kidnapped me off the street in broad daylight and no one noticed. What could you do to fight against something like that? And Ari had mentioned some kind of interference with the net. I hadn't even tried to call for help since we arrived. Too much happened all at once. But sure enough, when I went to pull up my interface and connect to the safety department, there was nothing. Oh, also, fairy chess is a style of chess where all the pieces have different and weird abilities compared to normal chess. Oh, that's fun. I've never played that. So that's why F-class espers are called fairy espers. Wow! Okay, that's awesome. And because they have weird abilities. They have different powers. Oh my god. And I love how the powers that you've given them kind of correspond with their chess piece abilities. You know, so that's why like the psi wave shooting out kind of makes sense, you know? This is amazing. Oh my god. One of the factions out there had enough clout to put up some kind of widespread interference with the nano system. Yuri, I think I'll stick to gambling with cards. It's a lot easier. I'm not very good at chess. I understand it, but I'm not good at it. The only way I can win a chess game is if I'm with someone who doesn't understand chess very well. And even then, I might still lose. My problem is I have a hard time like visualizing ahead. When I'm looking at a chessboard, I see what's in front of me. And I'll think about what I can do, and I try to think about what they can do. But somebody who's good at chess is really good at predicting what the other person is going to do based on what the board is and planning their moves ahead of time to trap their opponent into defeat. You know, my brain doesn't work like that. I have a hard time being able to envision the board in the future, like 2, 3, 4 steps ahead like that. I can't really do that. And that's why Endgame is white themed when you see their uniforms, and the bad guy faction is crimson. I didn't want to use the black white, so I used red white like in Alice in Wonderland. I love that. Good choice. Good frickin' choice. That was insane. It wasn't like just anyone could do that. Endgame. Crimson. Groups of that caliber, sure. Or the government. I was in so deep over my head, I didn't know if I'd ever be able to claw my way back out. There was a lump of panic growing in my throat, but I tried to swallow it down. I could not go to pieces. I absolutely could not. Just focus on one thing at a time. Trying to think about everything at once would get me nowhere. I locked my eyes on the cluttered ground and just tried to pick a careful path through the dark hall as I took slow, deep breaths. Except for the debris, the place was gutted. Offices and other rooms were empty, doors hanging open on broken hinges. The walls were scorched, and some doors twisted and burned, an ugly reminder of the escalation that led to last year's attack. And now it was under attack again for a different reason. It's not sketchy. Nothing bad will happen, promise. Ash is a genius but sadistic. True. That's true. A soft scuffle of movement in a room to my left caused my attention. I froze, eyes wide, as I tried to stare into the darkness there. You're not skilled in chess either, me neither. I have a hard time. I understand it, but I'm not good at it. I immediately thought of that lady in black slinking through the shadows the way she did. We can run back the way you came, ask who's there, pick up a weapon, and get ready to fight. I kind of want to fight. I staggered back, fighting the urge to run. That was just asking to fall and probably end up getting hurt. Besides, I was up against people who could teleport. What good would running even do? Exactly, girl, yes. But I wouldn't roll over and do nothing, not this time. I stooped and fumbled in the dark at my feet until my fingers bumped something hefty enough to feel like it might make a good weapon. A twisted metal pole wasn't going to do much against an esper, but I felt better with it in my hand. It won't affect Magnus's route. The choice does have some significant impact in Jack's route, and minor impact on Kesa, but I don't think it changes anything in Maggie. Perfect, yes. Backing from the open door, I pressed myself against the far wall, holding the pole, or pipe, or whatever it was, in front of me, my breaths coming in ragged gasps. I shouldn't overreact. It could just be a rodent of some sort, but all things considered, it was better to be a little weary. The shuffling grew louder, and any hopes of it was a rat evaporated. Those were definitely the footsteps of a person. A lumpy shape stepped up to the door frame, but I couldn't make out any details in the dark. I was relieved it wasn't the night from before. The shape was too bulky, and they were moving oddly, sort of slow and halting. Don't come any closer. But I can only come closer and closer. My blood froze at the sound of that whisper. How? The whispers crawled in me, like snakes that stole my soul. I can hear him strangling all the light with his eyes. His eyes are everywhere, in me, and they want to be in you. How can you be here? There's nowhere else for me to be. I have no other place anymore. That scared me. You jump scared me. Is that the crazy person from the fountain? Is that the hobo? What's wrong with you? The figure stepped into a patch of light that filtered in from somewhere, and a strangled breath caught in my throat. It was exactly who I thought it was, the man from the fountain, the Esper. But he was different somehow, changed. See, I'll tell you how different he is, okay? He's sick, okay? He looks like a ghost. He's all no color, no melanin whatsoever, anywhere. And he's got yellow eyes with black, white, where the whites of it, where his eyes should be white, it's just like a vacant void back there. Is he a demon? He's a demon, isn't he? Is he dead? Is he a ghost? See, that sadism. Yeah, Ash, you said it was nothing. You said it was nothing. You jump scared me. He never looked all that healthy, but now his skin had gone ghostly pale. There was a strange gold light that shone from his eyes. I didn't understand what I was seeing. What could change someone like that? Drugs don't do that to you. Nothing should be able to do that to you. Real, girl, real. Oh my gosh. I know you. Yes, we met before. His eyes seemed to linger on the twisted pipe in my hands. Nope, I'm not dropping it. I'm gonna keep holding on to it. I tightened my grip on it, unsure what he would do next. You wouldn't have laughed if I hadn't said, "You jump scared me," in such an accusatory way. But you did, and it was your fault, okay? It was your fault. You scared me. They know you. He found you because of me. Or he found me because of you. He found us all the same. And now we're going to fall into the eyes and disappear. What? Huh? You could have saved me. What are you? Why didn't you save me? Dude, calm down, okay? Whatever happened, it's not my fault, okay? Stop. It's not my fault. Okay, he is not making sense, but she's still doing the MC. What? Huh? Why? Okay, she still said it. He cut me off as his voice rose to a shriek. He rushed at me, mouth twisted open, eyes wide and gleaming in the faint light. Sir, do you have rabies? Please don't bite me. God. I let out a very brave scream and swung the pole at him. Get him! Get him! It wasn't like I didn't know how to defend myself a little. My brother worked for the safety department. He had done the self-defense thing with me before. But that was different from actually fighting with someone who wanted to hurt you. Even so, I wasn't letting him grab me again. The man dodged my first hit, but not the second. It connected solidly with him and he went down. Get him, girl! Get him! Get the shot. Say no to rabies. Okay, I would take that. I took off running, determined to get away. There's Sylph's achievement. But unfortunately, he wasn't an ordinary attacker. He was an Esper. Just strange one at that. He was up and after me in seconds, and he was faster than I was. He's back. Something hit me square in the back, sending me sprawling. My weapon went flying. I tried to scramble away from him, ignoring the biting pain in my hands and knees. An explosion of pain screamed its way through my neck and scalp. Ow! But like my neck is hurting from that. He had me by the hair. You knew I'd get the bonk achievement because I have the vibes of someone who would definitely bonk Rory. I would bonk Rory. He had me by the hair. I jerked backwards, twisting and clawing at his hand. My nails dug into his flesh and suddenly I was staggering forward as he let go. I couldn't catch myself this time and I went down hard under the ruthless pull of gravity and inertia. The side of my face smacked the floor and everything went black. Somewhere in the back of my head, I knew I tasted blood. I wasn't quite awake, but I could hear his raspy whispering. And that's what pulled me back into the world of waking. I wasn't sure how long I'd been out. 5 seconds. 10. He had me by the ankle and was dragging me down the hallway. I hissed and arched my back as my shirt dragged upward. Bits of stone and glass scraped across my skin, cutting into the flesh. If I hadn't been awake before, I was now, mostly. My mind was foggy. The only thing clear at the moment was the pain. Have to get away. I somehow found the energy to snap out a savage kick at the hand gripping at my ankle, twisting my body to find something to grab onto. My fingertips were bruised and cut by the ragged floor. One nail caught and ripped away. This girl can't catch a break. Not a single break. We get dudes like pinning us down, grabbing us, pinning us against a wall, throwing us into a car, teleporting us to a secret location, start puking our guts out everywhere. And then the next thing we know, we're getting attacked. And there's like psychic powers flying left and right everywhere, okay? And then we have to get teleported again, and we're all dizzy and woozy, and we're in like this weird, creepy ass basement. We're trying to find a place to hide. And then this guy shows out of nowhere, and he's like grabbing us and stuff like a zombie and stuff, talking a bunch of stuff I don't understand. And we're like, and we're trying to hit him with a crowbar, and then I'm like, give him the right hook, give him the left hook, get him, girl. And he's like lunging at us, you know, he's like, brains, rah, rah. You know, he's got like weird powers and stuff, you know, and we're like kicking at him and stuff. We're getting dragged across the floor. My fingertips are getting bruised and cut by the ragged floor. One nail caught and ripped off. My nail got cut off. That's what's happening, y'all. It's been nonstop. Poor MC. Poor MC. I screamed in pain and let the frustration fuel my assault. I drove my heel into the man's hand and he finally released me. I forced myself to stand despite my body's protests. Girl's gonna need therapy. And a medic. Yes. Yes, Milky. She's got like 5 different groups after her. And she doesn't know why everyone wants a piece of her. She's like, why does everyone want a piece of MC? And this is why I can't be an MC in real life. You know what? You don't want to be an MC in real life because MCs always get the short stick, okay? It took every ounce of willpower to not immediately black out. I didn't think I could run, but I was gonna try. The man, muttering to himself, gave me a baleful glare, and I knew he was about to lunge at me again. Through my hazy vision, I saw it coming, but this time I moved towards him at the same instant, lifting a knee to drive it straight into his gut. He didn't expect it, doubled over with a pained grunt. I shoved him to the ground and started running. And for the first time in my life, I tried to find whatever Psy might lurk somewhere in me. If I ever get isekai'd into Gilded Shadows, I have to teleport to Lance. That's the only way to go. Advice from Esh in the event of isekai. Yep, yes. Yes. In the case of me getting isekai'd by Truck-kun, I now know that I need to attach myself to Lance. Lance will protect me. Is Lance a cinnamon roll? He's sweet, isn't he? I looked behind me, flung a hand out, and hoped for something, anything, for a door to fly off the hinges and hit him, for a wall to crumble and block the way. Instead, there was a pulse of energy that shot away from me and towards him. We used a magic power! Wow, on purpose. More of a cinnamon roll? But he is sweet. I get it, Esh. It struck him just as he was getting up again, and he hit the floor, screaming. I squeezed my eyes shut and kept going this time, fleeing back the direction I'd come as fast as I could go. I hadn't actually gotten very far into the corridor. Not as far as I had thought, anyway. I reached the opening that led to the main atrium in what seemed like almost no time at all. The silence out there was unnerving. I hadn't realized it as I ran, but as I paused near the door with one hand resting on the wall to catch my breath, the sounds of fighting had stopped. What was I even doing back there? I was supposed to be getting away. But with that man back here, it felt like I was hemmed by my enemies. Unsure if I was being pursued or what I should do, I peered carefully into the atrium. My eyes went wide. There were bodies, not just one or two. I could only assume the people from outside had gotten inside at some point. They were strewn about, and I didn't know if they were unconscious or dead. And one of them was familiar. Caleb. He was alive. Moving and struggling to sit up. That woman in black was just in front of him. Her foot connected with his jaw, sending him slumping back to the floor. I let out an involuntary cry, and her head whipped around to me as I clapped my hands to my mouth. Girl! Too late. She definitely spotted me. She held a hand out, and I knew what was coming. The air in front of me warped as I saw something release from her palm. Caleb is a weakling. Listen, okay? This woman is just a badass, okay? Doesn't mean that Caleb is weak. Oh, look who's still standing. And Ari was there, looking like he was barely standing as he held his arms up to block with one of his shields, what I could only assume was a Psi burst.
Why? Why did you return?
Someone attacked me. He looked back and reached out with one hand, then crumpled to the ground. The woman was right behind him. I backed away, heart drumming against my ribs, like it was ready to jump out of my chest. She's scary, isn't she? She also has those same eyes. The void eyes with the yellow. No! She simply kicked Ari's unconscious form to one side like he was nothing as she came toward me. I didn't want this. I didn't want any of it. I wanted to go home. I wanted my normal life. The woman reached for me. I covered my head, ducking lower as if I could shield myself from her. Yeah, she's really intense. And she has the same eyes. They must be from the same faction. Are they both demons? Don't touch me! Touch me! Touch me! I screamed the word, and from somewhere deep inside, that scream just built and built and ripped its way out of me with enough force. It felt as though I was ripping my throat open. It was like my own voice echoed inside my head, over and over and over. There was a rumble and shattering glass. Steel bent, broke. Rubble was falling. Everything was falling. And then reality twisted. Was that not cool? Cold air hit me. All right, y'all, we're going to save it here, and then we're going to continue with Chapter 4. The board is set next time. All right, but we're going to say our goodbyes first. Oh, MC's hair is actually wet. Look at that. That's a nice touch. I like that. Next time, we're going to see if we are successful in escaping with our lives, and see if we threw off all of our pursuers. Hello, stunners. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I had a great time, and I hope you did too. Wow, this game is something. It is so exciting. No wonder it's beloved. It's a classic. Esh, you outdone yourself. You are a genius. It's been proven. Wow. MC, next time. I'm back on this building again. Exactly. Come back next time to hear MC go, huh? What? Once more, as we uncover further secrets related to espers and magic and technology and hot men. Lots of hot men. Also, will we see more of Magnus? That's what I want to know. Yes, more Magnus. Because y'all, I'm a red flag enjoyer. Also, I like sad boys. Okay, and I like trashbandos. Yep, yes I do. Yes I do! So I can't wait for more. Join us next time at our regularly scheduled show. We will continue with more Gilded Shadows, and we will continue to hunt down Magnus, because that is the man that I want to romance. I'm looking for a toxic trashbando, and I think I have found him. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Jitterrue, and I'm desperately obsessed with romance games, dating sims, otome games, and the like. I love to play these games. I love to rank and roast husbandos, and I love to brain rot with the stunners. So if all of that sounds like fun to you, then consider giving this stream a like. Consider giving me a subscribe and a follow, because guess what, stunners? We are gonna do a whole lot more of this. So have a good night, and I'll see you next time. And if you're on Twitch, don't go anywhere, because we are gonna spread the love. We're gonna raid some other stunners. All right, y'all. See you next time. Bye.